Hi, I'm Lee.
And I'm Maddie.
We are reporting for the BBC Schools report from the Marlborough Science Academy. We have some breaking news. As we speak, Marlborough is under Ofsted inspection. We will give you a more in-depth report later.
But first, in the education headlines, the teachers are on strike. Over to Tash and Laura for a more in-depth report and if it governed any changes.
Hi, I'm Tash.
And I'm Laura.
12% of all schools in England had to close yesterday due to the NUT strike action over pensions and working conditions. The NUT is the largest teaching union and has 326,930 members in England and Wales. So the impact of the strike was huge.
Now I'll hand you over to my correspondent Hannah, interviewing current teachers at Marlborough Science Academy who striked and their opinions on the matter.
Okay, firstly, thank you for joining us, Miss Minor. What union are you in?
I'm in the NUT, which is the National Union of Teachers.
So you striked yesterday?
I did strike yesterday.
Okay, why did you strike?
There are multiple reasons why I went on strike yesterday. One main reason is the work-life balance that teachers have. We have a very uncomfortable lifestyle at the moment because we need to get so much data in to make sure that you guys are making progress, which is at the end of the day, that is our job. We want to make sure you make progress. But to the extent that you're not making progress because we are inhibited by all the data we have to collect for you, therefore that impacts upon your lesson plans, that impacts on the quality of teaching because we're too tired to teach you properly, because all we're doing is input and data. And we know it's nothing to do with the school, it's to do with the pressure being put upon the school by the government. So that's why we went on strike, to ensure not only that you are making progress, but your quality of progress is much better than it is.
Okay, and what did you do on the strike day yesterday?
The strike day yesterday, firstly I was going to try and get some work done, to be honest, because I think that proves our point that even on a strike day when we're not being paid, I felt that I had to do more marking, more data collection, so that I could also plan some quality lessons for you guys. And I actually ended up coming into school because there's some stuff that I wanted to do in school. But I still feel that by striking, the point's being made.
Okay. If the problem isn't solved, are you prepared to strike again in the future?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Miss Minor. Now back to the studio.
Thanks for that. Now what's happening around the world? Over to Daniel, Jahar and Albert to get more on the Malaysian plane crash and the effect this will have on students travelling to Asia.
We are looking at the Malaysian airplane that went missing. There were 12 crew members and 227 passengers on the aircraft that went missing. The families affected by this were outraged at the authority as they wouldn't give them any information. They went on a hunger strike. A few days later, they confirmed finding a wing of the aircraft. So it really gets you wondering, with all these trips that people need to take nowadays, could there be more incidents like the one that happened? All this changed flights inside and outside of the Asian region. Talking about trips, we have a Year 8 student going to China next Friday. Over to Jahar.
The Syrian crisis has been raging for just over 3 years, but in many refugee camps things are starting to look better for them. Buying grocery gives a sense of normality for refugees in Sadari, Jordan. Many people are taking refuge in other countries such as Turkey, Jordan and many other countries. As more Syrians come to Britain, many people are under stress to get asylum seekers homes and acceptable living conditions. For now, the Syrian crisis is still in full swing and actions must be done. Krim, a Year 8 student, has come from Syria due to the crisis.
Hello, I'm Daniel.
And I'm Albert.
And this is Krim.
Krim, how's your life changed since coming to Britain?
I find new friends and new teachers. And I like this school and it's a very nice school.
So you've settled in well?
Yeah.
Have you found school different since moving?
Yes. And I'm not gonna move actually from Marlborough anymore. Still I go to university.
How has your family dealt with the transition?
It's good, and they enjoyed Britain, and they are really happy.
That's great.
Thanks.
Back to the studio.
Great, thanks. What about in the local news?
Hello, I'm Charlie.
And I'm Ashley.
At this moment in time, Great Britain's energy providers are in the middle of a crisis. The price of energy has risen dramatically in the last 10 years. Now it is proposed that there will be an investigation to all the British energy providers.
The second largest energy provider for Great Britain is SSE. They propose to freeze their prices until 2016 for their 5 million customers. This is because their customers are getting worried about the rising energy bills.
The following energy providers claim that their customers are getting a fair deal. These are British Gas, SSE and E.ON, but many of their customers disagree.
If the country keeps consuming energy as it is, Great Britain could face more power cuts. This is unless the government takes control of the situation to sort out the problem.
The price increase is dramatically affecting the amount of money spent here at the Marlborough Science Academy. Here is Mr Pace, our site team manager, to explain more. Hello, and today we are doing a BBC News report with Mr Pace, our site team manager, asking questions on the energy consumption of the Marlborough Science Academy.
How much do we spend a year on energy in this school?
Well, you'll probably be quite surprised. On electric, it's £10,000 a month. So we run it for, it is a huge amount, so we run it for 9 months, and in the other 3 months we're probably half that amount. So that equates to about £105,000 a year just on electric. Now on gas we're probably about £7,000 a month, and again if you run it again for 9 months of the year, because obviously school holidays we do it half, that's £84,000. And again if you look at water, that's £2,000 a month. So again for the 9 months it works out about 21,000. So you're looking at £210,000 a year just on our energy costs to run this school.
That's a lot of money.
It's a huge amount of money.
How much has the bill risen in the past 2 years, and what is the source of this rise?
Well, the source of the rise is sort of market influences, so energy goes up and down all the time, but roughly we're looking at about a 10% year on year rise. So again we're looking at another 10% next year, so if you look at another £21,000 we'll spend next year, and again every year it will go up that much.
Okay. What can the students do to save energy?
Well, lots of things really. You can educate a lot of the teachers to turn their lights off and do that, and turn the computers off. One thing that I really want to bring in is the recycling part of it, and that's where I need all the students' help with that, because that will save us a lot of money on our waste. We were looking at actually bottles. I was just talking to the facilities manager, and it costs less to recycle a bottle than it actually does to make a plastic bottle. So if we recycle it, we can save a lot on that.
Yeah. What can the teachers do to reduce this bill?
Turn lights off, not charge their own mobile phones in the classroom, but that applies to students as well. They can look at what the energy saving they can make within their classroom, such as the computers, when they come on, when they go off, and that sort of thing.
Okay. What are the procedures to ensure the bill is always at the minimum cost?
When we look at contracts at the beginning, we look for the longest contract possible with all the utilities we have, and if we get that, we get the best price. So that's what we do, but really the other procedures we do to reduce costs here, and again is working with the IT department to ensure the computers go off, looking at different switches within the different classrooms so that if they go on for an hour or so then they go off if they're not used, the door locks, things that use energy. We look at ways we can actually save that energy when the school's not open.
Yeah. What are your views on the energy provider investigation?
I don't really actually understand that question. What do you mean? But this investigation we're doing here, this one here, basically we spend a lot of money on energy. There's a lot of ways that we can save money on energy, but a lot of it is about education. Other things we do, we change all the lights to LED lights, which aren't bulbs. They use probably a quarter of the actual energy, but give the same amount of light. Switches. Heat management, when the school's not open we turn the sort of heat down so we don't have any heat. But my main thing really is education. You know, you all at home I'm sure are told by your parents or whoever to turn your lights off, turn your computer off, unplug your chargers, things like that. That has got to be taken back or replicated into the school as well, so that the same energy savings you make at home you make at school, and because our bills are so high we'll make a bigger saving.
Okay.
Thank you. I see. Now for the football results and sports news with our sports correspondents James and Sam. I wonder how Moyes is getting on. I wonder.
Goals from Gerrard and Sturridge was enough to secure all 3 points for Brendan Rodgers' side last night. A consolation goal from Key wasn't enough to spark a comeback from the Black Cats. This leaves Liverpool 1 point off of Chelsea at the top of the league and 2 points ahead of Manchester City. But Pellegrini's side have 2 games in hand over Liverpool and Chelsea.
Now onto the school sport. The Year 9 boys football team have had a season full of mixed results. They have had an unsuccessful period before Christmas, but now have 2 wins in a row under the belt. We asked Mr. Cochrane how the season has gone so far.
Thanks for taking your time to speak to us today.
Mr. Cochrane, how would you evaluate the Year 9 boys football team?
How would I evaluate the team? I think they're a good team. They've got some very good players within that team. I think they've underachieved over the last 3 years. They're currently in the semi-finals of the District Cup, so hopefully things are looking up.
How could they improve their abilities?
I think they need to pass the ball better, be more positive in their play, and try and create a few more chances and to score more goals.
Hey, and finally, Mr. Cochrane, what is the latest on the captain debate? Sammy, Lewis, or a new name coming into it? James?
I think it's currently the first 2 names that you called out. I'm looking for a captain that leads by example, shows good discipline on the pitch, is positive with his other players, and currently I would go with Lewis.
Now back to the studio.
Thanks, hope that helped. Now, how's the weather looking for the upcoming week? Here's Cameron.
Looking at the weather today, we see that Scotland is experiencing some sunny spells, beware of spots of rain. Moving on to Ireland, the Emerald Isle is looking nice but a bit cloudy. Wales is very windy, but you can enjoy some sun there. England in general could be a bit wet, with London feeling a bit of wind. For those of you living in St Albans, it's looking very sunny. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Now for some selfie action in the entertainment news with Ellen and Jahar.
Thanks, Maddie and Lee. Over the last few years, selfies have become a new craze. For some, it has become an addiction. However, it has raised millions of pounds for charities. For example, the young teenager named Flora Cunningham took the first no makeup selfie to support a charity close to her heart. The young mum had lost her mother-in-law a few years before this. In addition, it had affected many in her family. Her campaign aimed to raise over £50. However, in an hour of this being posted, 2,000 people had looked at this photo. Crazes on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram and many other social media sites had become on such a large scale that her achievement is the largest cancer research has ever seen. Her fundraiser raised over £80 million, and there is hope there'll be more than this in the future.
Photoshop, a program to make models look perfect, make photos look professional, and even the most inexperienced artist an outstanding artist. But can using Photoshop to change the way women look, change the minds of the younger generation? When you read a magazine or an advertisement and see a woman, the sad fact is they're not real. The face you see may be familiar, but it's been under the too familiar effect of Photoshop. It isn't women, it's men. The greatly toned six-pack or the defined face is all too photoshopped. But could this influence the way children look at themselves? If you compare schools in the past and schools today, you can see the appearance of children has changed dramatically. Makeup has nearly become compulsory, a thin body is expected, and if you're not wearing designer clothes then you could be picked on. Many people should believe that Photoshop should be banned for models. Let's look at the views in the public. Do you feel that you can't leave your house without makeup?
No, I feel not as self-conscious as other girls, and it doesn't matter if I haven't got makeup on.
Do you think it has become a big part of your life?
Definitely, because I now feel like if I don't wear makeup at school, I feel like I'm missing something in a way.
Do you think Photoshop models make you feel more self-conscious about your image?
Yeah, because it's so damaging for a girl to look at a magazine or whatever and see somebody who looks absolutely perfect, and then you get told that these people all went through things like spots and stuff, but you can't see it, so it's like, well, how do I know that?
Do you feel like you can't leave the house without styling your hair?
I don't feel like I can't, it's just I choose to wear it because it makes me feel better about myself.
Do you think it has become a big part of your life?
Yeah, I'd say so because I wear it most days, so yeah, it is.
Do you think Photoshop male models make you feel more self-conscious?
No, not really, because I don't really look at that kind of stuff.
Back to the studio.
Now we'll finish the report with a look into the Ofsted's day at Marlborough.
Hello, I'm Jack Armstrong reporting for the BBC News School Report. Ofsted are inspecting the Marlborough Science Academy as we speak, monitoring our students and teachers and school conditions. But how much pressure are these inspections putting on our students and teachers? Do these inspections really give a true reflection of our school? We talked to Miss Murphy about the pressures on teachers when Ofsted arrive. I asked what kind of pressure are teachers under when Ofsted are here. She said massive pressure to perform and not to let the school down. I asked how much extra work does she have to do, and she said 3 times more, and she was in school till 8:30 at night. I asked, are your classes performed differently? If so, why? She said no, because I'll teach the same things. Asked for my last question, I asked, are you nervous when Ofsted are here and why? She said yes, because she wants to do hard work and good grades for her students. I was lucky enough to get an interview with Mr. Blackburn, an inspector representing Ofsted. He told me that he was looking for students making rapid progress and helping each other to learn as a result of challenging teaching from outstanding schools. He told me that there is a set schedule of schools usually based on how they were graded on their last grading. I asked him what the benefits were for students on being inspected, and he told me that students getting improved teaching and eventually getting better results. He hoped that students did not feel under pressure when Ofsted was inspecting schools, as the inspection focuses on learning in the classroom and try not to affect students too much. Ofsted give only half a day's notice for reason being is that they want students to talk to them and give their views about the school. Ofsted inspectors observe individual lessons in order to see how well students learn and how effective teaching is. We use a set of agreed criteria to judge how students learn. Thank you.
Yes, and what an exciting day it's been. From the international headlines to some breaking news of our own at Marlborough. Thanks for watching and have a great afternoon.
Bye.